Hey everybody, welcome back to Lettermen Row for BuckIQ. I am Austin Ward, joined by my good buddy Zach Boren. Spring ball is here. Those silver bullets are flying. The pads are popping. It's that time of year. We're ready to talk about those linebackers.
I love it. We needed football to start again. After the way the last season ended and the talk for the last 2 months, we needed football to start. So I am so excited for football to be back. You've got, Kerry Combs back in the fold. You've got a bunch of new faces, a bunch of early enrollees coming to spring ball. So it's an exciting time at Ohio State.
And you've also got some veteran linebackers. But I know that will be a big topic of conversation for us for the next 5-6 months. But this, Pete Werner, we've talked about him a number of times, but he's out here. He could be going into year 3 as a starter. He remains a really critical piece for Ohio State.
He does, and so many people going into last season were questioning the linebackers. Right now, this year, people are questioning the secondary, right, and where you're losing so much depth. But no one looks at that linebacker room and how talented they are. And it starts with Pete Werner. Obviously, Tough Borland has been there for a long time. But Pete Werner, the versatility that he brings to this defense, that maybe losing those 3 defensive backs to the NFL isn't going to hurt as much because he's able to go out there and play some nickel corner. He's able to play out there the star position that they used to call it. Right now, it's almost that bullet position. But this is a guy who's able to almost make up for some of your loss in the secondary and give you some different dynamics to the defense with playing inside the box at will linebacker that we saw in spring, that we've seen so far in spring ball. Still being able to play out in that star position, matching up with the tight end and playing man-to-man coverage, which we saw so much last year. So Pete Werner is that wild card that I think in my mind is the guy that helps bridge the secondary, the lack of depth in the secondary to the linebacker room and where, quite honestly, they are stacked.
Yeah, there's a reason that Zach Boren's so excited to get into this tape right here, because Pete Werner had himself a heck of a year. Now he gets to continue to grow for Ohio State. He's going to show exactly why he remains so valuable to the Silver Bullets right now. Let's roll the tape. All right, Zach, we talked so much about Pete Werner last year and just the way he developed from 1 year starter to a second year. This was a really, really great season for him. He's still got one more to go with the Buckeyes.
Yeah, no, he showed up this year, right? From what he did 2 years ago, and the transformation that he made in a year and really being a leader and cornerstone of that defense that we saw running around, making plays. He's lined up inside the box here. We saw him a lot of the year lined up outside, lining up on tight ends, right? But this is a different Pete Werner than we saw 2 years ago, and I think a lot of it has to do with Al Washington. I think, he got Pete's reads correct, right? I mean, Pete was starting to see the field a lot better, starting to see the offense, and you see him come up here. This is open field against a really good player. And God, getting his helmet underneath his helmet, making a great hit here. And, I just remember this play. The announcers are going crazy with how hard he hit him.
And it seems like, and so just take me back to the front there in the alignment. Like, we saw him early in spring practice, maybe switching into a little bit different role. Ohio State seems like they could use him almost anywhere with that versatility. But is this inside the box different than some of that bullet stuff we've seen, and why does it work for him?
It is. It's going to be different, right? Just because you're a lot more hats and hands, you're playing inside the box, so it means you're going to get a lot more guard tackle on you as opposed to being on the outside and getting a lot more tight end and maybe some tackle or, the leading fullback and whatnot, right? But when Pete's playing here inside the box, it's a lot more. You have to be really good with your reads. He's a little slow with his footwork right here. You see a little bit of a hop right there, and really he should be firing right away, but he sees it quick enough. And the thing about Pete is he is so athletic that he's able to make up for it, right? Ryan Shazier is the same way. Played next to Ryan. Ryan wasn't the greatest with his footwork to start, but he was so athletic and so quick that he's able to see it, react, and get to the football. And here he's making a tackle for loss in the open field, right? And so Pete, I think you're going to see him. We saw it a little bit in spring practice, number one, playing inside the box a little bit more. And like you said, it's the versatility where he's playing inside the box. I think even, you see them play a Penn State team or Wisconsin team where they've got athletic tight ends that are known for catching the football. You may even see Pete move back out, right, and go against that tight end that we've seen and have grown accustomed to playing man-to-man that we're going to see in a couple plays.
Yeah, you have to, they have so many linebackers. You have to find the right way, and spring ball is the opportunity to do that. But you also have these clips that we're watching right here. There were times last year that he lined up at safety and dropped back and rolled the coverage. You played the 4-4. You've got him right here. isolated and making a play, just sort of what you're talking about. Move him out there and get him on a tight end.
Yep, and you saw this so many times, right? And from an Ohio State, you look at the linebacker room, right? And there's probably only two guys in that locker room or in that linebacker room who can really line up and make this play. Pete Werner and Baron Browning, right? And so I think you're going to see them utilize Pete to play kind of fill in from Malik Harrison. But then when you're playing a Penn State like this that has always had athletic tight ends, a Wisconsin like that, you're going to see him move out, and you may see guys fill in there. Maybe it's Barron and Borland. Maybe it's you might see Taraja Mitchell in there, right? Who's a big thumper. But Pete Werner, just his versatility and what he's able to bring to that defense, like you said, we saw him line up at safety. We saw him line up in essentially a nickel position right here, right? He's essentially playing nickel corner. You know, we've seen him line up inside the box. There are just so many things that Pete is able to do, and especially from a personnel standpoint on offense. As an offense, you try and out-scheme the defense. You try and put them in situations where they're vulnerable. Having Pete Werner on the field, the Ohio State defense, it's hard to be vulnerable because he's able to move outside when they give you 4 or 5 wide, right? He's able to match up on the tight end. He's able to stay inside the box, so he's able to do so many different things.
Yeah, that's sort of been this theme, especially with Pete Werner, is that the conversation is about putting the best 11 guys on the field. And if you had to say, is he a pure outside linebacker? Is he a pure middle linebacker? The answer is probably no, but he's proven himself. You're doing it right here that he can make plays anywhere on the field, and he needs to be out there.
He's a football player, right? You know, people get so caught up in the enigma of, oh, he's not a pure middle linebacker. Oh, he's not a pure Sam, right? He's not this. He's not that. He's a football player, right? And you see this right here. This is what a nickel corner does. I mean, this is great technique from a nickel corner, right? I mean, Shaun Wade, this is a great play for Shaun Wade this year. If this was Shaun Wade's tape, we'd be like, what a great play. And this is Pete Werner, who's a linebacker, right? Match up on the tight end. They're showing kind of man coverage, what they showed so many times last year, but it's a zone coverage. He gets his hand on the tight end, right? Gets his hands there, reroutes him, and then he's able to play off and get his eyes back to the football, eyes back to the quarterback, and should have had a pick right here, right? And this is a phenomenal play, and for this to be an inside linebacker, outside linebacker, whatever you want to call him, to make this play, I mean, it's unbelievable, the versatility and athletic ability that he has.
Yeah, those are a couple plays, too, where Penn State's trying to get a big athletic tight end involved and maybe take advantage of Pete Werner, and it didn't happen. You saw that again in the rivalry game. 2 big plays and a pass breakup in that one here. This is another one that's a tackle for loss and being physical, the point of attack.
This is why I love this film, right? And from last year, and so many people give Pete Werner a bad rap from 2 years ago, right? When you saw him kind of look clueless against Purdue, and you saw him, there were some bad plays, right?
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. But for him to show this film and what he had, we saw him play inside the box. We saw him play man-to-man coverage. We saw him play zone coverage out of the box, right? Now we're seeing him play almost inside the box again. This is a pulling, I think it's the guard, right? Or no, it's a center. Or it is a guard, right? You have a pulling guard. So a really good player, big dude, right? He's able to go there, get hats and hands on him, meet him behind the line of scrimmage that you see right there, keep his leverage to the outside, keep the outside shoulder free, knowing that all of his flow is coming from the inside, plays this perfect, hats and hands him, gets him back, gets his shoulder to turn, gets off the alignment, and makes a tackle for loss here. I mean, this is textbook linebacker play.
Yeah. He's got one more to go here from this. And he did this 2 years in a row, breaking up passes. Teams tried to isolate him, as I said earlier on, and it just didn't happen. You did not have a lot of success if you were trying to throw on Pete Werner.
No, I agreed. And here you're seeing it again, right? Playing man-to-man coverage on a guy, on the tight end, right? Big athletic guy. And you see it. They're showing run. He comes down like it's run, and he has the ability to realize it, react to it right there, turn and run, and end up catching up to this guy, right? And this is a big athletic tight end that Michigan has. And he's able to make a play on the football. Granted, he doesn't get his head turned around, but plays the hands perfectly. Gets a pass breakup, PBU. And I mean, this is just a phenomenal play. Seeing run, moving his head, and then coming back and getting a big PBU.
Yeah, nothing. They're year 1 to year 2. Pete Werner showed that growth. This is the end of the year, big success, and now he's got another offseason with Mickey Marotti, another year with Al Washington.
Yep.
So I got a feeling that Zach Boren is going to be breaking down Pete Werner a little bit more as we
I'm excited
go
to break
on
him down this year.
into 2020. Big stuff coming. Pete Werner, Zach Boren breaking it down for us at Lettermen Row for BuckIQ. For Zach, I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got BuckIQ with Zach Boren.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.